The Fantasy Football Week 15 startsit and NFL Best Bets edition of Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code OFFSGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sportsbook available in 45 states. Download the Rebet app and use code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old-fashioned football.
You make this deal right now, you pancake-eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old-fashioned football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you listen to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at JMarkFootball. My brain is not working today. I couldn't get X out on the reads to bring us in. I couldn't say social sports book, but yeah, we must go on. Before I keep going, if you're wondering who us is, that's fair. That's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I talk about these start sits, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mark. How you doing today?
Ask me tomorrow.
Ask you tomorrow
At like 6 o'clock.
6 a.m. or p.m.
p.m.
All right, let's clarify. I didn't know if you wanted me to tap you on the shoulder at 6 o'clock in the morning, wake you up and say, "What's up?"
I'll be up.
You'll be up. All right. Josiah checking in the chat. Yo, how's it going, Josiah? Hope you're doing well. No buys this week, which is nice, but we certainly have
playoffs.
You want to talk about unless you got a first round buy, which I did. Thank you very much. In several leagues you did. We actually own the first round buys in that 101 of dynasty leagues. We got invited to that 2 years ago. Yeah. Right. This is our second year in it.
We're going to take it. I'll get first. You'll get second. It'll all work out.
We'll see. I believe I am the number one team. I've outscored every other team by over 100 points, but
not me,
not you, but yes, you are the second team, but we have outscored the rest of the league by quite a bit. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the downfall, I guess, of having a bye week is if your team pops off, it's a wasted week.
It is.
But I'll take the bye.
It's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Move forward to the second round of playoffs.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Miranda. Why don't you tell everybody what we're talking about today in case they've never joined Old Fashioned Football?
Yes.
Give a little preview.
Well, it's a Thursday show. We're going to answer as many of your start-sit questions as we can. We'll answer them all. We usually get through all of them. So if you're joining us on YouTube and you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We will get to them. We promise. Tonight's game is the Rams versus the Niners.
Should be a good game.
So we're going to have some underdog pick'em entries for that and some best bets for the game tonight. Plus, we'll bring you any bets for the weekend as well.
Yeah, and might as well go right into this, Mer. What are we drinking today?
We're drinking an old-fashioned with Balcones Lineage in it. So if you tuned into us on Monday, you know that we reviewed Balcones Lineage. It's unique. It's definitely a unique one. Good. It's really good. I'm interested to see how it stands out in the old fashioned because it is so unique.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of single malts, and this is a single malt. And I don't know, even after I made the old fashioned, I had to take a pull from the bottle because it's just so good. I couldn't help myself.
You're ridiculous.
It's so different than what we usually
And you were
taste.
the bartender today.
Yes, I was. And I did an excellent job, if I do say so myself. Okay. I've already tried it. If you want to learn more about Balcones Lineage, you can go back to the our whiskey section from Monday and hear what we said about it. Or even better, check out episode 109 with Alex Elrod.
Yes, we had a great time with him when we had him on. what I know it was episode 109, but it seems like it was a while ago.
Yeah, it does. It does seem
Mhm.
like a while ago. And don't forget, if you haven't downloaded the SGPN app, you're missing out. The SGPN app gives you access to all the podcasts on the network, not just ours, all of them, and all the picks pages in one convenient app. Plus, like all our content, how much does it cost?
Zero.
It's absolutely free.
I was going to say it's free, but
Yeah, type in SGPN in your
Zero.
app store to download it today. I see we got a question here, a couple of them. Judah says, what's up? Got a couple questions. Start Tua or Purdy and start Charbonnet in hopes that Walker doesn't play, or start Guerrero tonight? Well, I'm nervous about Guerrero. I know he's active
with his
but a foot sprain.
Mhm.
We saw this, I think it was, 5-6 weeks ago with Jordan Mason, same team. He had, I believe, a knee sprain. They said he's good to go. He's going to play. And he re-aggravated it probably by the second quarter, I think it was, and then missed the rest of the game. So that injury worries me. We're going to get to our injury report in a little bit here, but spoiler alert, Kenneth Walker did not practice again. I don't think he plays. He's got that calf strain, which is crucial, just like the foot, for a running back. So I kind of have a feeling that it's going to be Charbonnet again. So I think I'd go that route. What are your thoughts?
I think I tend to agree with you on that. I was thinking about like Tua versus Purdy.
Yeah.
Do you have a...
No, go for it. I'll let you lead.
Well, I know just right off, I guess I don't know how hard Purdy's matchup is, but I need to look at that. I should already know that because that's happening now.
Because that's happening now.
But Tua has a really good matchup this week, and his matchups haven't been mattering the last couple weeks, whether they're hard or easy. He's just been killing it.
Yeah.
So I would just automatically, just from how he's been doing, I lean towards Tua.
He's definitely been stepping it up. Purdy goes against the 27th defense as far as adjusted fantasy points allowed.
So he has a good matchup too.
He does. Remind me, the Dolphins play the Texans. Is that correct?
Yeah, they play Houston.
They play Houston, which is a decent matchup for them. 15th ranked as far as fantasy points allowed. So right in the middle there. But like you said, it hasn't mattered with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle really stepping it up. And finally a tight end that's making a difference in Jonnu Smith on that offense. It's really opened up.
So I just, for me personally, I like starting Tua over Purdy.
All right. I'm going to go the opposite here. I hate to disagree and give Judah something to kind of think about here, but divisional matchup against the Rams. Now, I do think the Rams win. Sorry, Nick Fortune. I see your question in the chat. I'll get to you, but I know you're a 49ers fan. I think the Rams win. I think, but I do think this is a crucial must-win spot for the 49ers, so I think they're going to bring it all. And so I kind of like starting Brock Purdy there.
So we're just going to differ.
Yep. But did you agreed with Charbonnet, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we were the same there. Hopefully that helps. And then Nick, the 49ers fan, he agrees with me. Sorry, Murr, Brock Hard Purdy. And Nick also saying Tucker Kraft or Hunter Henry. I kind of like Tucker Kraft there. Henry's been doing fairly well, but I just I don't know. I just think that the Packers offense is a little bit better than the
Kraft
Patriots.
Isn't like sharing time.
True. That is an excellent point. Now, the Seahawks, very good against the tight end spot, but I do think they're still going to be able to take advantage of that. I don't know. The Cardinals are good against the tight end as well, though. So I think I would just go Tucker Kraft. I think it's just a better offense.
Mm-hmm.
Tua or Rodgers? Another Tua question for you.
I'll just say Tua away.
I agree with that. I could see Rodgers having a pissed off game and doing well, but he also could suck like he has most of the year. So I think you got to go Tua.
I will say this, going back to the Purdy Tua comparison. Last time the Niners played the Rams, Purdy put up 30 points, but their offense was a little bit different then.
Yeah, though I don't think they had Debo that game, but I do. CMC wasn't back yet, though. I don't know. Might be. You could make the argument that they had Brandon Ayuk, though, and Juwan Jennings went off in that game. I do remember that. I think he had 11 catches in that one. So Nick Mruck checking in saying Debo worth the start tonight, is going to pick up the Guerrero slack. Nick, I'll let Nick Fortune answer what he thinks on Debo tonight. I personally am sitting him. Debo has had an up and down year, and then kind of where he has stood out in the past has been in the running game, and he has just not broken many good runs. I don't think he's had over 20 yards since week 1. So he's not adding any rushing ability. And he did miss the last game against the Rams, as we just said. But Juwan Jennings has really stepped up in this offense.
Yes.
And I think this is Juwan Jennings, then George Kittle, and then Debo as far as the passing option. So I think I would avoid him tonight if you can.
I benched him in a league.
You benched him, yeah. If you can, again, though. I mean, it always depends on who you would have to put over him. Nick Fortune, the Niners fan, weighing in that he does not care for Debo, period. And shout out to Channing. Cheers. Hope all is well in Canada. So, yeah. Thanks for the questions, everybody. Make sure you keep throwing them in there. I think we go over the injury report a little bit. Again, these are tough because they've been so hit and miss on when
they're not releasing.
Yeah, everybody's sitting right now. If they even have just the smallest lingering issue, they're sitting. But Miranda, do you want to cover the injury report?
Absolutely. So Guerrero, we already talked about him. He is supposed to play tonight.
Yeah, and
like you said, like
I just don't like it because he's been dealing with that foot sprain, short turnaround, the re-aggravation factor, and this team has already lied about injuries. We saw that with CMC, so
yes.
I just don't trust it.
No, Bucky Irving, he didn't practice today. He's still dealing with back and hip injuries. Breece Hall, who missed last week's game, is still not practicing. So Braylon Allen might get the start again.
Yeah.
Then we have Kenneth Walker, still isn't practicing, and he missed last week due to a calf injury. It's trending towards not playing this week. And then with Derek Carr injured, the Saints are going to start Jake Haener and not Spencer Rattler. Yeah,
that kind of surprised me. I know Spencer Rattler started earlier this year, and I thought he did okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but he did okay. The other thing out of what you read there, or talked about there, Breece Hall being injured. Is there a point in bringing him back? Like they're out of the playoffs. They're eliminated.
I don't know if I would risk.
Yeah, I mean, why not shut him down for the year? That's kind of
let him heal.
Yeah, let him heal. Shut him down. There's no point in re-aggravating. So if he's not absolutely 100%, I don't think he suits up. Just my opinion. I don't know. I don't think there's a point in it. But yeah. Channing saying evening folks with looks like some smoking and no smoking. I'm so confused. Appreciate you checking in. Hey Miranda, before we keep going, you want to tell everybody a little bit, we're going to be giving out Underdog Fantasy entries real quick here, but tell everybody a little bit about Underdog.
Absolutely. We are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. We're talking NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. You can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. We're going to be giving out our lineups for tonight here in a little bit. So go get ready and go sign up with promo code OFFSGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code OFFSGPN.
And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is new social sportsbook available in 45 states. There are plenty of betting opportunities available on Rebet. It's easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sportsbooks may be restricted. I'm looking at you, California. Download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. So when we're streaming through the service we use, Twitter doesn't always carry over comments, I guess, but I did get a notification. Brian Scott checking in saying, hey, love Brian. The jersey, which you can see right here. That's the 111th Grey Cup champion. Brian Scott got to be on that Toronto team. They brought him back, which was the right thing to do in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for checking in, Brian. We always appreciate hearing from you. And looking forward to good things in the CFL. I'm excited what opportunities he might have next. Yeah. Anyways, we can divert and go back to NFL. I see Miranda looking at me like this is
you're going to go
show.
Off on a tangent here.
I could. The CFL's got a lot happening this offseason. It's going to be exciting. Channing knows what I'm talking about. He always checks into the CFL Gambling Podcast and follows the CFL. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. But before I get down that rabbit hole, should we give out our Underdog Fantasy entries?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to let you kick it off because, I mean, ladies first, right?
I guess. So first, I'm taking Puka higher than 88.5 receiving yards. Puka's gone over this in 5 of the last 7 games since coming back from injury. I'm taking Kyren Williams higher than 73.5 rushing yards, keeping the 49ers offense off the field and controlling the clock is going to be a good strategy for the Rams. He had 89 yards his first game against them this year.
Nice.
So it's looking good for Kyren. And then I've got Juwan Jennings higher than 5.5 receptions. He's hit this in 3 of the last 5 games. When they played them earlier this year, he had 11 catches. Then we've got Deebo Samuel, lower than 15.5 rushing yards. The Rams have a decent rush defense. They're used to Shanahan's gadget plays, and he hasn't gone higher than 15.5 since week 1. And then I'm going to steal this one from Justin before he can take it, since he always goes after those kickers. I've never throw a kicker one in here.
Taking a kicker prop.
Yes. Jake Moody, higher than 1.5 field goals made. I just think the 49ers will be able to, move the ball some, but maybe fizzle out on a couple drives, leaving Moody to kick in those field goals.
Yeah, I like it.
$10 for all of 5 of these will pay you $218.40, and if you flex your entry and hit all 5, you'll get $109.20. 4 of the 5 with a flex entry will get you $27.30.
Man, you got a big one this time.
I guess I did. It's the kicker.
It's the kicker. That was the kicker. The kicker was the kicker, right? I'll give out mine. I did another Rivals one, just like I did on Monday night. These are kind of interesting. However, there weren't enough from this game to complete a 4 line entry, and I wanted 4, so you're going to see a random from another game here. But let me go over tonight's receiving yards. Puka Nacua versus Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings has a 20-yard advantage basically because Puka's a dog, and so I like Puka though to get more than 20 yards or 20 yards more receiving than Juwan Jennings. For fantasy points, this one's kind of an interesting projection. George Kittle, he has a 1.5 advantage over Kyren Williams. I think Kyren Williams gets more fantasy points than George Kittle. And then fantasy points as well, Matt Stafford versus Brock Purdy. I'm taking Brock Purdy and the 1-point advantage that he has. And then I had to throw something in from another game. So passing yards, Jared Goff versus Josh Allen. The Lions, they eat on the ground, not through the air. So give me Josh Allen +2 passing yards over Jared Goff. $10 will pay you $80.30. Or if you want to do a flex entry, all of them will give you $48.20, and 3 of them will give you $12. All right, we are back from Underdog Fantasy. The Rivals thing is just an interesting approach to it, trying to decide who's going to have more or less yards, or higher or lower yards, or fantasy projection. I just appreciate it. Jamie checking in. Hey, ladies, what's going on, Jamie? I caught Jamie on his show on Going for 2 Live. Make sure you check that out. Caught that Sunday morning before everything was rolling, before the games.
Where are you going?
I don't know. My brain kind of shut off. I think we were in town. I think we were running errands, and I was in the car, and I was like, oh, I need to tune into these guys and see what they say. And congrats on the bye week. I didn't think I got the bye week, but maybe I did. I think Bryce in that league, that's in the Keeper's Heart Bowl. I think Bryce stole it from me. Miranda's going to check now.
I am checking because I didn't think. Hold on.
Well, while you're checking, Jamie said, did we help you or did we give you the wrong answer? I believe I asked about.
You didn't get the bye.
No, I didn't think so. Bryce got it, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I play Fortune. So I basically a bye. Just kidding, Nick. That's in our listener league. Anyways, no, I think I asked, who's going to have the better day, DJ Moore or Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen had been kind of on a tear. You guys said still roll with DJ Moore. He is still the stud in that offense, and that was the correct answer. So check them out Sunday mornings before the games start. You want to talk about some start sits?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We can jump right to it.
And again, remember, if you have questions, throw them in the chat. We will get to them, and we'll be happy to answer the best we can anyways.
So my first guy has been on and off of our list. guess I'm throwing him back on the start list.
All right.
And that's Kyler Murray. I know he's been just a bucket of disappointment.
Now first you steal my kicker props. Now you're stealing the words I use. He has been a bucket of disappointment.
Bucket of disappointment, to quote you.
Yep, I like it.
But he plays against a bottom 5 defense as far as fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks with the Patriots this weekend. They've allowed 5.5 more than the projected fantasy points on average to quarterbacks.
Wow.
So I think that bucket of disappointment has a better chance going against the Patriots. Sorry, Cody.
Sorry. Hashtag sorry, Cody. Did you set your lineups, by the way?
You'll be impressed.
Yeah.
I did this yesterday. I set my lineups on Thursdays. But last night I was going through and I was just like, I know tomorrow's just going to be crazy. I need to do this now. There is one league I need to go back to because I was debating on the status of a player. So I got to go back. I don't remember which league it is. And this, I just did a sorry, Cody. So to talk about Cody really quick, him and his spreadsheets to keep track of his 500 leagues, 60, 50. I don't know where he's at.
500 leagues.
Yeah, I was like, I just have to go back to this league. I only have 13. I don't remember which league it is. So I have to go into both apps and figure out where it was that wasn't finished.
You're only in 13. I thought you were in more this year for some reason.
13.
13
is enough.
That's enough.
It's about spreadsheet level to remind myself of which leagues are done and which leagues aren't.
There you go.
Of which ones I've set.
I saw somebody ask a question. This is going to derail us a little bit, but I'm curious of your opinion. I saw somebody ask a question. I can't remember if it was on Twitter or Reddit, but they said, should teams that have not made the playoffs in redrafts, should they be allowed to do waiver wire moves? Once the playoffs have started, they're not in the playoffs.
Yes.
It's a redraft. Should they be allowed to do? See, I say yes too, but it's also because I'm very competitive. So even if I am in that bottom bracket, I sure as shit don't want to finish as the last place team.
Like our pirate leagues. I bombed them. Not like bombed, but I bombed them. So I'm in the lower brackets. And I'm still going to steal. I'm still going to be picking off the waivers. Yeah. I'm going to finish where I can. And I don't like the saying no, because if you're in a keeper league, now is the time where you really need to make sure you get your last waivers in for the season.
Well, that's why I specified redraft, not a keeper.
You did say. Yeah. Well, I ignored you.
Well, imagine that.
But yeah, no, stay competitive. I don't want that toilet bowl champion award.
No,
I'm going to stay competitive. I'm still setting my lineups in the leagues that I didn't make the playoffs in.
All right. We see eye there then.
No, and I'm also competitive in the fact that I want to make it difficult for the people who crush me.
There you go.
Which is why the people in those top brackets don't want the lower scum of the leagues to be taking
bottom of the totem pole.
To be taking their waivers if they need them.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. And I think even if you're out of the playoffs, stay competitive. I mean, you can still win some games. I know they don't mean anything because the playoffs have started, but you can still win them and it's still fun.
And just in our listener league right now, you're in that third spot. And if your team's hurting and you just have no running backs, I'm going to go take the top running back off the waivers.
Sounds like something you would do. Let's get on with our starts.
I pay attention to what's going on in the leagues.
You got to. You got to. Sometimes it's just about screwing somebody over. That's fine. For my quarterback, Miranda, do you believe?
I do.
Bo Nix, I mean, I know he's going against a decent defense in the Colts, but he's been on fire. I've been so impressed with Bo Nix. I've been happy. There was one league where I accidentally drafted him. Do you remember this? I was freaking out in the car because I was driving. And I went to click and I accidentally clicked Bo Nix instead of, I don't even remember who at the time I was going to take instead of him. But anyways, I took him on accident. I think it was JJ McCarthy because I had Sam Darnold. Anyways, he's got the Broncos playing well. He's got them looking at the playoffs. He's well coached by Sean Payton on a very well-run team. I believe in Bo. I say start him. I believe.
No, I've been starting him. He's been doing great.
Dog.
A dog. See another dog like Baker. Okay.
Yeah. He's becoming, you probably didn't see the clip. I watch a lot of replay clips, but I believe, I can't remember who hit him. I believe. I think it was against the Raiders. Maybe it was Max Crosby that was kind of in his face. and Bo's eyes were about this wide, and you can see him mouth, "I ain't scared of nothing." And it's just like, yeah, fire him up, man. Dog. Anyways, we got a running back.
Okay.
Do you need a moment? Or are you
I'm
good?
fine. Just you painted a good picture for me. Okay, Chuba Hubbard. He was on the sit list a week ago, if I'm correct there, but due to losing, touches to Jonathan Brooks. But now Brooks is out for the season, and the Panthers play the Cowboys, who are 30th ranked, who are the 30th ranked rushing defense.
Yeah.
So I would start him if you have him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I haven't been a fan of his all year, but he has done fairly well when he has all the touches. So yeah, I get it.
When he's not splitting it.
Yeah. I'm going to say Brian Robinson. It might sound obvious. You may be starting him anyways, but I do have a couple leagues, including the 101, where he's actually my 5th running back, and I'm not sure who I would sit in his place, but he's fresh off a bye. The Saints have allowed 135 yards per game and 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 4 games. I think he's set up for a huge day, especially because I think the Commanders are going to get up on the Saints with Jake Hayner starting, and they're just going to be able to run the ball, control the clock, get out of there healthy. Brian Robinson, he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Are you checking out my team to see who
I'm
I have
checking
that's
out
better?
Mine.
I saw you scrolling this league I just talked about. I thought you were like, what bullshit is this? What running back does he have better than Brian Robinson? Scrolling. Is that not what was happening?
No,
or was?
It's not what was happening.
Okay.
I did go to that league, but it's not what was happening.
Fair enough.
Don't look over here. I've got business happening over here.
Business.
All right. For my wide receiver, I've got our guy, Keenan Allen. We just played the Vikings 2 weeks ago, and Allen had over 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Vikings, two of them. The
Deuces.
Vikings, they just haven't done a great job at covering wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I think the Bears are pissed that they lost the last game to them, and knowing the Bears, they'll win out even though playoff hopes are lost, and give ourselves a bad draft pick for nothing.
That sounds about right.
It's either going to be that or we'll just run the clock down again for no reason to.
Right. Statistically, we can still make the playoffs, but the likelihood is probably very, very slim. We probably have the likelihood of, I don't know, a better chance of winning Super Bowl tickets or something than the Bears making the playoffs. I got Juwan Jennings. We already talked about this guy. We usually don't pick Thursday night players for our start sits, but I couldn't not pick him. He's been on fire this year. And, if Ayuk had not been playing all year, he's obviously injured now. And if Jennings had been healthy, I think he finishes as a top 12 wide receiver. Honestly, he's had 5 catches in the last 4 of the last 5 games, over 90 yards in 3 of those, 2 touchdowns last week. Now he goes up against the Rams, who just gave up 201 yards to the top wide receivers on the Bills. I think Juwan's going to eat today. I like the Rams to win the game. # sorry, Nick Fortune. But I do think Juwan's going to have a good game.
You said eat, and I thought your famous words that you always say.
Eat out of the slot.
Yeah, thought that was coming.
Nope, not for Juwan.
Not for Juwan. No slot for him. We're done. And for my tight end tonight, or I guess not tonight, just
for my tight end tonight. Anyways, go on.
My start for tight ends. I'm going with David Njoku. Can we get us back on track?
I don't know, can you?
I feel like we love to fade him when Watson is throwing the ball, but we like him when it's a different quarterback. He's had 29 targets in the past 2 weeks combined, and in a PPR league, 43.4 points. Whew. So both of those are, the best among tight ends. And now he goes against a Chiefs defense that is struggling to cover tight ends.
Yeah, I like it. Well, now Jamie's saying Njoku most likely not playing.
What?
We'll have to check on that. And he has Jennings at wide receiver 8 this week. I like how he said, what?
Hold on.
Hold up. He has Jennings at wide receiver 8 this week. I know in our family league, my father had Jennings on his bench, and he was quite disappointed to see that he got the 2 touchdowns. Well, my tight end, who hopefully is playing, Jonnu Smith, he gave some people.
Oh, he didn't practice.
Didn't practice Thursday due to his hammy.
That's today.
Yes. That is today.
Thursday
you are
is
correct.
today. Okay.
Anyway,
Practice today.
I'll continue. Jonnu Smith gave some people worries last week, and now you may be hesitant to start him. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, I looked, and he was sitting at 0 points. Are you wanting to interrupt here?
I need to pick a new tight end.
Jamie bringing up a good point. Just input his backup Adkins.
You could.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, Jonnu Smith gave people. I remember looking at my matchup against Caleb in the family league. I had Jonnu Smith going into the fourth quarter. He had 0 points. I was like, what the fuck? He ended up salvaging it in overtime. He had that game-winning touchdown. But maybe you're like, oh, geez, he was close to finishing 0. Should I start him now? Yes, you should. He goes up against one of the worst defenses versus the tight end in the Texans, and I think he's in for a really good bounce back day. Really good bounce back. Miranda, before we keep going,
okay,
I do want to let everybody know that we are brought to you by MyBookie. SGPN started out with MyBookie, and now we're back. Check out the new and improved website, great on mobile, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. Even early cash out options are available. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Plus, you get a $10 casino chip. Go put that baby on red. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. And now you can track props in the Rhythm app. NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm has it all. Just claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. My goal is to get that down in one breath. To do
good luck.
The whole read in one breath. I take 2 right now as it is. So you don't think I can?
2 breaths.
I take 2 breaths.
I've got to get down to 1.
I gotta get down to 1.
Okay.
You don't believe me? You don't think I can do it?
Also, before you keep going, because you won't stop if I don't.
Yeah, go for
interject here. Just want to give a quick shout out to our listeners who joined us on Insta. I'm bad at going over there and giving that shout out, so I wanted to make sure I did that. We've got Upscale Bourbon Cigars who joined us.
I like bourbon and cigars.
I'm probably gonna butcher this one, but Vahake, maybe VA Hake.
VA Hake. Yeah, welcome y'all. Appreciate you checking us out. If you're watching on Insta, the format is a little better on YouTube. I know when we go through the streaming thing that we go through, it doesn't look exactly the same as being live. Jamie pointing out, what would y'all do without me?
For real though, because that was like out there 4 hours ago. You think I looked at anything before coming from work to here? No.
No, we always appreciate your input. We appreciate you being here and your support, of course. I just realized that it's time to crack open from our unofficial sponsor, Liquid Death. Shout out to Liquid Death. Should we talk about some sits? Who's on the shit list this week? If you don't mind, I'm going to start the shit list.
Go for it.
All right. I know you probably can't sit this guy, but he is on my list to underperform. I think he's going to underperform, and that's Jalen Hurts. Going against the Steelers, that Steelers defense is going to be ready for him. Not only have they not allowed a 20-point fantasy performance from a quarterback this year, but only 4 have reached 15 points. And I know what you're going to say. Well, but Hurts can run. He's going to hurt him on the ground. You don't think our boy, Justin Fields, has been running that scout team, getting that defense ready to absolutely smoke Jalen Hurts every time he tries to take off? He's got him ready.
My goodness.
Yeah. If you can.
Yeah.
I get it. If you can, you can't. I mean, I get that. If you can't, that's what I'm trying to say. But if you can, I would look elsewhere if you have a better option, because I think the Steelers are going to make it really tough for them.
But it's Jalen Hurts.
But it's Jalen Hurts.
You probably can't afford to sit him depending on your league type and depending on. Okay, I don't know. Fine.
It's going to be.
It is going to be the worst
Hurts.
matchup for quarterbacks this week for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And again, like I said, normally teams struggle when there's a rushing quarterback. Justin Fields, a rushing quarterback on the Steelers, and I would say faster than Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he's as big, but he's faster than Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to have those guys ready. Like, hey, when he starts looking like this, he's taking off. Go right for him. He's going to have him ready.
Did you talk to Justin Fields to see if he did this?
Yeah, we made it. We connected on the phone. Okay. I told him you're going to be the MVP this week.
Or did you talk to their coach to tell him to have Justin Fields do this?
Mike Tomlin wouldn't take my calls.
Exactly.
Who do you have at quarterback?
Well, right on the other side of that one, I guess. I think it's going to be hard to rely on Russell Wilson, who goes up against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because they're allowing negative 3.7 adjusted fantasy points per average. So based on that, I do think that Wilson's going to underperform.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess we're sticking in the same game. Najee Harris. That's who I'm sitting at running back. 2 weeks ago, he was a top 5 running back. Last week, kind of came back down to earth, had a so-so performance, didn't do too bad, but now he faces the top run defense of Philly. I think it's going to be tough for him. And I do think that Philly is a really good team that could get ahead of them, and they might have to abandon that run a little bit.
All right. Well, I have Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah. Tyrone.
Yes. He's been very solid this year as he's taken over the starting job for the Giants, and he started to, run away with the clear-cut RB1 duties.
Run away. I get it.
Okay. I guess that came out that way. But now he faces the 12th ranked Baltimore defense, who will likely make it tough on him. And then on top of that, Tommy DeVito, who will be starting. This game could get out of hand, forcing the Giants to abandon the run.
I think you meant to say Tommy DeVito.
I wanted you to say that. You do it better.
and Jamie pointing out that you said duties.
I did say duties. I thought you were maybe going to say something when I said duties.
When I looked over and smirked, you probably did.
I thought you were, and then you went with run away.
Yeah.
So, okay,
before we keep talking about our sits, let's talk about a start, because Noah Bonecutter. Awesome name. If that's your last name, you win. Noah Bonecutter. Yeah, just think about going into any meeting like Mr. Bonecutter. It trumps every other last name that I can think of. He wants to know Stafford or Love. So are you playing Stafford tonight, or are you going with Jordan Love? It's a tough question. Stafford does have a tough matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, who are 5th ranked in adjusted fantasy points allowed at minus 2.2.
Love has an easier matchup going against
Seattle. Yeah. Absolutely. But they have been decent the past 3 or 4 weeks at shutting teams down. They are 9th ranked, but adjusted rate of minus 1.3 fantasy points compared to, what did I say for San Francisco? Minus 2.2 for San Francisco. So it's pretty close. I think are you going to say Love? Because I'm saying Stafford.
I was going to say Love. We're going to disagree.
Right. Well, sorry, we don't have a clear-cut answer for you. I think Stafford. I think that this is a must-win game for them. They actually have a shot of not only making playoffs, but winning the division. Seattle's winning the division right now. They have a very tough next 4 games. I think that the Rams could end up stealing him from them.
Last time they played the 49ers, Stafford only got 14 points.
Yeah. And Jamie pointing out 220 yards, but damn it, this is why I dislike Kyron Williams so much, because they run it in so often when they get close to the end zone. So Stafford doesn't get as many touchdowns. So that's aggravating. But you're still going Love. You're being a Packer backer. I don't know what to say about this. You being a Packer backer. That's okay though.
Yeah. I'm not a Packer backer. What? Clearly he disagrees with me.
Well, Jamie is liking Stafford here. Hit the over on his passing prop line in 11 or 12 games where we've seen Puka and Kupp both healthy. 9 of those games he had 278 or more. It's for me, for fantasy wise, it's about, does Kyron steal his?
Stafford doesn't put up a lot of points on his hard matchups.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's true because they focus on that run. They have a good game plan.
Mhm.
You know, I just realized that it's 7:00. We are 15 minutes away from kickoff. Let's roll through the rest of our sits here and then get to our Thursday best bets. Or do you want to hit the best bets first?
Let's jump to the best bets.
All
I
right.
think we need to give those
just
out.
for Thursdays. We'll cover
Yep.
this weekend's best bets after. I'll let you kick it off. I assume I know what type of bet you're going after.
Longest reception.
All right, you're sticking to
I'm
the
just
trend.
staying. That's just what I'm doing.
All right,
I bring
figured.
you the longest reception
I
bet.
figured.
That is what I do. So there are a couple I like, including Juwan Jennings, but I'm going to go with the reliable Puka Nacua.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Go on.
His number is high. It's quite a bit high at longest reception over 25.5, but he's been making huge plays every week. So I don't think that this week is going to be any different. And the over 25.5 is at -120.
Yeah. And just real quick, Noah and I believe Nick Muruck, Judah, those are all new names we haven't seen. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, and we would appreciate it. And we'd love to see you come back to talk football, whiskey, or whatever. So for mine, I did a silly little alt line same game parlay that I've done before. You can use this for your same game parlay boost that the books offer. I'll read these kind of quick, but it's plus 440. I boosted it up to plus 585 on DraftKings. So I got Juwan Jennings and Cooper Kupp both over 50 yards. I got Puka Nacua over 70 yards. I got Kyron Williams over 50 rushing yards and an anytime touchdown. And then Brock Purdy and Matt Stafford to throw 1+ touchdown. Again, plus 585 with the boost. So it's, almost 6-1. And I feel good about it. They're alt lines for a reason that should be easier to hit.
All right.
First touchdown? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Kyron Williams. Why wouldn't I? For the Rams at plus 550.
Jamie's going to be mad. Jamie doesn't like Kyron as much as I don't like him.
Well, why? We don't need to get into this right now. I'm going with Kyron Williams. It's at plus 550 for my first touchdown for the Rams. So then for the 49ers, I am worried about Guarando's health. I agree with you, like you talked about, and just how that foot is going to hold up. So we've talked a lot about Juwan Jennings. I'm going to take him, and that's at plus 1,100 for the 49ers.
Yeah, I like it. So I'll start with the Niners. I'm going to take George fucking Kittle.
Of course.
We mentioned last week, or I guess on Monday's show, that he did everything against the Bears except score a touchdown. So I think he gets the first, and that's at 8-1. For the Rams, I was torn between Puka and Cooper Kupp, but I decided to go with Cooper Kupp at 10-1 plus 1,000. Puka gets a lot of yards, but I feel like Kupp actually gets targeted more in the red zone. Also, just for a little bonus, I'd do like half a unit or less. Sprinkle a little on Colby Parkinson. Just the tip. And as we were talking, as you were giving out your first bet, I don't know why, but when you said Kyron Williams, I said he sucks. Let's take Blake Corum. He's 2,500, 25-1. Just the tip, sprinkle a little $3 on there, something like that.
Okay.
That was just to fade your Kyron Williams. I do apologize.
Fine. He maybe doesn't agree with you.
Jamie, he does have Kyron over 78.5 yards and two touchdowns because he's hit it in 10 of the last 11 games.
He's a touchdown machine. And then why you diss him and why you think he's just crap is ridiculous. Like, you get these biases.
I do.
And I don't get them.
It's hard. It's hard to back off
from argue the talent and the stats and everything. Just everything.
You know what? And Blake Corum has carried the ball. He has looked more efficient. He's looked faster. I think it's because Kyron's so slow. Kyron is not a fast running back. He's a bit of a thumper.
He gets the job done.
Yeah, he's not a fast guy though. And maybe I don't like his lack of flashiness. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
He gets a touchdown all the time, like back-to-back touchdowns. I don't care, though. He doesn't impress me. Just get out, Justin.
All right. And Jamie's saying Kittle is his bet of the week. Rams are 11th in fantasy points allowed, giving up an average of 13.7 points. I can see way over that and have him ranked as tight end 1. Woo. Let's go. Let's talk about the rest of our sits. Normally, this would be a good bounce back spot for a guy like Jaden Reed, who's coming off a 1-target, 0-catch performance for the Packers. He actually, though, has not had more than 3 catches since their bye week in week 10. Kind of interesting. I don't know if he like slept with Jordan Love's significant other, or maybe he pissed in his cornflakes.
Start rumors of drama on the Packers.
Pissed in his cornflakes. I'm not sure, but now he goes against the Seahawks, who actually have been very good at stopping the top pass catchers on the team. So I would sit Jaden Reed if you can.
All right. I've got George Pickens. If he plays, he's going to have a tough game against the Eagles, who are the top defense against wide receivers. They have an adjusted fantasy point average of negative 10.7. Yeah. Meaning receivers as a whole against them are finishing with less than 10.7. Finishing with 10.7 less points than what they were projected. Sorry.
That makes more sense.
Let me say it correctly. I was like, wait. So he's going to need a touchdown to be reliable. And in my opinion, with the way they run the ball in the red zone, I don't like the chances.
Yeah, no, I agree. For tight end, I know it's hard to sit Cade Otton, especially when he's got a dog like Baker throwing to him. But he also goes against the top defense versus tight ends in the Chargers. They're allowing an average of minus 6.5 fantasy points subtracted from the projection. That's a lot of points to lose at the tight end spot. So yeah, if you can sit him, I would.
All right. I'm going to contradict myself here because I have to start Laporta in a couple leagues.
Ouch.
I know, but he is on my sit list because he has a tough matchup going against the 4th ranked Bills. He's finally been trending up a little, but I don't think that this is the week that we can trust him. And me, I'm very partial to my Iowa tight ends.
I do know you.
Right out of tight end university. But I don't feel comfortable having to start him in the leagues I'm starting him in.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's been a weird year for Sam Laporta, who was number 1 tight end last year, and then has just kind of, I wouldn't say he's regressed because he still played well. Just hasn't had the same opportunities, I guess, as last year. So that's been kind of interesting. We've seen him bounce back a little bit since Thanksgiving, really, against the Bears when he had 2 touchdowns, but just not as much as we expected from him. I expected he'd been number 1 again. I think when we did our tight end preview episode, we both had him number 1, did we not?
We did.
Instead, I believe sitting at number 1 right now is Mr. Brock Bowers, another rookie. So maybe this starts a pattern that a rookie will always be tight end 1.
I don't agree.
I don't agree. Well, fair enough. Should we talk? I know we already gave out our bets for Thursday Night Football.
Let's go to the weekend.
If you have other questions, throw them in. We'll interrupt the bets to answer them. And Jamie has to start Laporta as well. His other is Pitts, though.
Well, then you have to start Laporta.
You got to go Pitts.
No.
Pitts about to have a balling day. Maybe not.
He's partial to Pitts, so stay away from any advice he gives out about Pitts.
He's also had a rough go of it this year.
You thought, oh my gosh, you gave me, I need to go back. We got to play I'm going to.
That's fine.
Hire somebody because you're not going to do it for me to go get the clip and put it together so I can.
From our tight end
You're
episode?
a tech guy and you're not going to do this. Yeah, where you gave me so much shit about how Kyle Pitts really is the real deal this year. And I got to see yet another season where you just talk about how Kyle Pitts is everything to you. And
That's fair. That's fair. And it just,
this is the 3rd year in a row I've had to go through this phase of yours.
I was off of him one of those years, I feel like. Maybe I was on him at the beginning. And jumped off. I jumped off the pits quickly. Let's talk about our best bets for week 15.
I don't feel like I've properly rubbed that in enough.
Do I have to?
I've just silently let you be wrong.
Sometimes you got to let your husband silently be wrong.
I've taken so much shit from you about Kyle Pitts. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and last week, I know you gave out the bet of Kirk Cousins to throw over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And I really liked it because I thought, revenge game. And then it came down to the fact of like, I guess Kirk Cousins is such a nice dude. He doesn't take revenge. He's too nice for revenge. Do you have anything else to add before we jump to best bets?
No, let's go.
Because if they're watching on YouTube, I keep flashing this graphic.
I know. Let's go.
Let's talk about NFL Week 15 best bets. We have a little shortened list this week, but I'll let you go ahead and start.
All right. You targeted this guy in your starts, but I have him in my best bets.
Ooh, who's that?
That would be Brian Robinson. So, I mean, you already kind of laid out exactly why he should have a big day, but I'm taking Brian Robinson over 76.5 rushing yards. This is at minus 125. This defense has not been great at stopping the run, and Brian Robinson has been good at running the ball.
Yeah.
So I'll also sprinkle whatever you said, sprinkle
a
little on.
Yeah.
At over 100 yards, which is paying at plus 195.
I like that. I think he could have a monster day. I'm going to jump right into my anytime touchdown parlay. You know, Derrick Henry is currently tied for the most rushing touchdowns. I don't know if you remember, but on our AFC North episode, I gave out him to lead the league in rushing touchdowns at 6.5 to 1. He's tied right now for the most with Jalen Hurts, of all people. And I'm taking both of them, and I'm adding David Montgomery.
Everybody to sit. That's fine.
Yeah,
continue.
No, I think he still gets a rushing touchdown. I'm taking both of them. I'm adding David Montgomery, who's just one touchdown behind them. Kyron Williams is also just one touchdown behind them. So if you're watching
and yet
us
you
live,
really are down on him. Sorry, I can't help it with my comments.
Can I finish my bet here? If you're watching us live right now, I would go ahead and add Kyron Williams in. I think he scores a touchdown tonight. If you're watching this after tonight and the game's already gone, then don't worry about that. You still got Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts, David Montgomery. I'm throwing in Chuba Hubbard. You talked about how he's going against a really bad Cowboys defense. I'm throwing in Joe Mixon, who's been a dog all year when he's been healthy. If you don't throw Kyron in here, it's 8 to 1, but with Kyron, it's plus 1389, almost 14 to 1. And I really like that bet. I think all of them score the touchdown. Obviously, that's why I'm placing my cold hard cash on them. But yeah. Can't believe you had to keep bringing up shitting on the guys that I'm throwing in there.
Well, because you shit on them. So I have to we're going. We're moving on. I've got Jalen Waddle. He's you don't have him, but he's really stepped up the past few weeks and become more of the game plan for the Dolphins. He had over 4.5 catches. No, I'm taking him at over 4.5 catches at minus.
You okay over there?
I'm fine. We're getting on track. I'm taking him over 4.5 catches. This is at minus 115. It seems like an easy hit. He's gone over this 2 of the last 3 games, and the Texans defense is good at limiting the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
They tend to allow more to the wide receiver 2. So week 13, Parker Washington had 6 catches for 103 yards. Week 12, it was Ridley with 5 catches for 93 yards. And then, so I think Waddle could be in for a good day there. So I would consider starting him as well. He's not on this start list, but.
No, I like it. Good day for the Penguin. Jamie just bought Brian Robinson today for 2 late 2025 seconds in a single quarterback league because I needed to replace Walker. I think that's great value. I think he is a stud. I do think that he will continue to be the Commanders' running back. I think they'll wrap him up when his rookie contract is over as well. So I like that a lot. And 2 late 2025s. I mean, I don't think you're going to find some value there, but not as much as what I feel like Brian Robinson has to offer right now. I'm going to go out by best against the spread plays because Miranda.
Yeah.
Still number 1 on Tally site. Thank you very much. Against the spread. Fighting off to hold on to that spot all through the year. I jumped down to number 2 for a little bit, but I'm back at number 1 and I'm going to keep it. This was a tough week though. I don't love a lot of the games, but I do love the Commanders at minus 7.5 versus the Saints with all the Saints injuries. I do like the Broncos minus 4 because I believe that they will destroy the Colts. I like the Bills money line at plus 110 over the Lions. That's going to be a hell of a game. The Lions have faced some good teams, but I feel like they've not had the same schedule as the Bills. And I think the Bills are going to kind of check them a little bit. Also, there's 2 Monday night games. I don't know if you knew this. The Bears, Vikings, and then the Falcons also play the Raiders. I like Falcons at minus 4 too, but that one's on Monday night if you want to add that in. And then for my teaser that I normally give out, This is 3 teams, 6-point teaser. Falcons teased to +2, Broncos to +2. I already talked about them, and Commanders -5.5. You can get or -1.5. Sorry, you can get those at +160. I think that's easy money. So, if you're not as familiar with betting, what does this +160 mean? $10 will make you about $20.60 plus your $10 back. So, not a bad bet to make for sure. Did you have something you wanted to add? I saw you scrolling along there. You're still trying to find out who you needed to check.
I already did it.
Oh, you already did it. Game's about to start. Before we leave, though, I have a question for you. What did you think of the old fashioned?
Yes, we've got to circle back to it. I thought it was really good. It makes an interesting old fashioned, and I like that.
Yeah, no, I really liked how it was in it too.
It definitely stands out. It makes its own, because when we do old fashions on the show, we just make a standard. We don't get fancy. Sometimes we get fancy, but we tell you in advance, like, ooh, this might be good with this type of bitters, or do something a little different. This is just our standard way of how we make them, and it definitely makes it unique.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I really liked it. Bourbon stands out in a specific way in an old fashioned. This stood out in a completely different way, but it was really pleasant. It made it really refreshing. I thought it's like a nice, refreshing old fashioned. I don't know. There's something light about it, but in a good way.
It's just very pleasing.
It's very pleasing. If I had $1 every time she said that about me. Do you have anything else you want to add before we get everybody out of here?
No.
Can't even believe you didn't throw a fit about that comment.
I'm we're just rolling with it now. But no, good luck to everybody in your playoff matchups.
Yeah.
And
holidays are obviously coming up. We're going to have a couple schedule changes or differences. Just follow our YouTube. If you're subscribed, you're going to see those. You'll get alerts when we go live. So we hope you can join us. If you can't, completely get it. It's the holidays. Hopefully you can take a road trip, traveling for the holidays, listen to us on Spotify or Apple. That helps us as well. I don't have anything else. Do you?
No.
And my old fashioned is gone. Going once, going twice.
Sold.